Hey friends, my name is Katarina Berry. Welcome to this live stream. In today's video, we're going to be doing readings for June for all astrological signs for empaths. If you're new to my channel, if you've never really seen my content before, my name is Katarina Berry, and my purpose in life is to awaken humanity through storytelling. On my channel, I focus on 4 different types of content. Number 1 is empath empowerment. Number 2 is psychic development. Number 3 is divination tools. And finally, number 4 is energy readings, which is what we're doing today. So I am currently shuffling the cards. The way that I do readings in general, I always read it for the present moment. So I like to focus on right now. Now, obviously, this reading is for June, so I'm doing it in May. But the point of the reading is energetically for you to receive this information and take it and apply it to the present moment, which means that present moment is going to be when you watch this video. So this is my intention today. I will be going over all the 12 zodiac signs. And then finally, I'm going to be linking timestamps in the comments below after the stream is over. I'll go through it. I'll find all the different signs and their timestamps, and I'll most likely do a pinned comment that will be an easy way for you to find your sign. So I'm going to start as traditional in tarot and in astrology. I'm going to start with the sign of Aries. What I want to highlight is that I do use reversals in my tarot readings, which means there are 156 possible meanings with 78 cards, possibly coming right side up or upside down. So I'm very much excited to share this with you. Now, one of the things that I would request is if you would like for me to try doing extended readings for all the signs, let me know. I'm considering it. If I decide to do it, I will most likely also do it live. So just let me know, because I'm definitely open to doing that. So I'm just getting ready to pull the very first card for Aries. Okay, so in the card that we have is actually the card of balance. So this card is talking about having multiple projects, multiple things up in the air, and juggling multiple things at the same time. Now it's talking about financial matters, projects that have to do with work, that have to do with professionalism, that have to do with earning income. But they're also talking about life situations, physical matters, possibly different properties, different businesses, different areas of work, maybe multiple streams of income. In the modern context, this card is definitely talking about multiple streams of income. And if that is the case, it is telling you that not only are you handling and able to manage what you got going on right now, but you're also able to add more. And this card encourages you to consider putting more into that flow, because you are able to manage and handle what's going on already very well. And you might be ready to expand. So this card is kind of telling you that, yeah, you do have a lot of things going on, but you're actually dealing with them really well. And it's actually been kind of quite easy for you as of late to just have all these things going at once and making sure that all of them are running smoothly. So this month, my dear friends who are Aries and empaths, just know that you can do more. You can add more. You've got it. You got it under control. Don't drive yourself crazy. Don't beat yourself up. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't doubt or second guess yourself. You're ready to expand, and you're handling things very well. And it's an opportune time for you. Like, when things are going really well, the momentum is there, and then you add some more things and they end up going really well because they just kind of become part of that momentum. That is what's happening right now for you, my dear Aries friends. So now we're going to be moving on to the sign of Taurus. So Taurus, and the way that I shuffle cards, there really is no method to it. Specifically, I just like to follow my intuition and make sure that whenever I pull a card, it feels like it's the right time. And what I mean by that is that it feels like it's the right moment. So it's very intuitive. So let's see what we have for friends who are Tauruses. Okay, dear empath Taurus friends, your card is the reversed King of Cups. Now, what this card is talking about is there is a big conflict, unbearable almost situation where you are required to do things professionally, to conduct yourself in a very certain strict manner, that you're subject to maybe some judgment from people that are monitoring your performance and your position. You're in this leadership spot, either as an entrepreneur or as a full-time employee or as a household member, or as someone who is like a mentor to others, where people look up to you, and it's putting a lot of pressure on you. It's forcing you to conduct yourself in a very restricted way that's not really truly who you are. And meanwhile, your more creative side, your more expressive side is craving to break out of that shell and to really kind of express itself. So you're wanting to experiment, you're wanting to break some rules, you're wanting to get out of this repetitive grind, and you want to kind of shed this costume of like this proper person who upholds all these standards, and you want to do you, and you just want to express who you really are. And so this card is telling you that it's time to rebalance some of these activities. You really have to look at, are you in the right career? Like long term, is this going to be sustainable? Because if it's really making you miserable, then you got to reevaluate this, because there are better options out for you. And yes, it's going to be scary. And yes, maybe you're actually avoiding doing the one thing you're actually passionate about, or like this, pursuing this idea that scares you to death because you really want it to go well for you. But this card is saying like this can't go on for much longer, because eventually you're either going to get really down because you can't be who you really are, or you're going to break all the rules, and there's going to be maybe some upheaval due to this, because folks might not approve of that kind of expression. So you really need to make sure that where you are professionally is aligned with who you are as a person and as an empath, and as someone who has these abilities and this creative side and this desire to express who you truly are. There's a lot more that you can do, and you can also be a leader in that. So I highly recommend that you look at all the areas in your life and see where there is a misalignment, where there is a breakup of who you are and what you do, because that needs really to be balanced. And you kind of have to be whole. If you want to be successful, if you want to be focused, you have to be whole. And that wholeness comes from from doing what you love and loving what you do, and you can't choose between them. You got to do both. And there's a way. You just have to be brave enough and push yourself a little bit. Hello, dear. So happy to see you on the stream. I'm doing well. Blessings to you as well. I am doing all the astrological signs. I'm reading them live. I'm currently moving on to the sign of Gemini, which is actually my sun sign. But I'm going through all the 12. Whoever's on the stream, you guys, if you don't want to wait, I appreciate you being here live with me. I really love it. But if you don't want to wait after the reading is over, I'll post a timestamp with all the reading times, so you can go right straight to your reading. So, but I'm moving on to the sign of Gemini, which this upcoming June, I'm going to be turning 27. So that's going to be my birthday as well. So these cards are for all of us. Thank you so much for watching live. I really love it. So let's see. And again, I'm doing some very intuitive shuffles, and I do consider reversals. So I try to kind of rotate them around a bit, but there is really no method to it. I try to not get into my ego mind too much, trying to, get obsessive or perfectionist, because it screws up the whole vibe of this. So none of that. So let's see what card for Geminis we have this upcoming month. Okay, so we have a Page of Pentacles. Interesting, very interesting card. So for Geminis, fellow Geminis. Okay, yeah. So, and by the way, you guys, if you're watching, you're wondering what cards should I look up, just pay attention, because you might want to also consider not just your sun sign card, but also your rising and your moon sign, because that will make the reading a lot more accurate. So moving on to the card for Gemini. So we have a Page of Pentacles, and it is not reversed, it is upright. And the main message with this card is student of financial matters. So my fellow Geminis, and myself included, are going to be learning a lot about money this month. And it's not just money, it's how to uh, provide value. It's how to exchange value. It's how to give and how to receive. But as you can see, the student is very elaborately dressed up. The Page of Pentacles is very dressed up. There's this beautiful bird, a garden, lots of feathers, lots of lavish extravagance. So we're looking at this kind of aesthetic of abundance and understanding what abundance is and how unlimited it is, because there's really no set restriction on this opulence in this card. There is no, no one told this person, hey, you're way too dressed up. You see what I'm saying with the feathers, and so there is no restriction on how abundant you can get. So my fellow Geminis, we're going to be learning about money, about abundance, about the unlimited abundance that is our planet. And we're not just talking about money, we're talking about the nature. Nature doesn't, the trees don't count the people that are going to pick up the apples in the fall. They're not basing their decisions based on the projection of people who might need the apples. They just produce the apples. They don't care. They just make them, because they can. And so this is kind of the message of this card. And but it's not just this abundance and appreciating abundance and just, dressing up. It has to do more with learning. So it has to do with becoming intentional, going like, okay, so that's how I can provide value. Oh, so that's how I can receive more. Oh, and so this is how I can dedicate my time to actually serve others so that they want to give something in return to me because it's valuable to them. So this is going to be the June for us Geminis, and we are going to be having our birthdays and actually starting very soon, a little bit in May. So this is not the month for entertainment, and this is not the month for spending. This is the month for making and receiving, but also giving and making sure that it's really balanced and it's really well matched and equalized. So it's a very exciting, opportunist kind of card, but it also has to do with being student, being diligent, and really dedicating you have it, you can do it, you can make it, you've been kind of building up to it. I know I have. This card feels totally in alignment with where I am right now, and so it's really time to just take the next step, take the exam, you know what I'm saying, to put some skin into the game, really actually test out this knowledge and start applying it, because information without application is just, it's just lip service. It's not much. Okay, so now we're moving on to the sign of Cancer. And so I'm going to shuffle for a few seconds here, just kind of break up the energy. So my dear Cancer empath friends, let's see what's in the cards for us in June. Reminder, I know it's kind of first third of the reading, but this is all for the present moment. This isn't for the future. Even if you're watching it in May thinking about June, or watching it in June, it's about right now. Whenever you're watching it, it's about right now. So but it has to do with kind of where your life is going in June, if that makes any sense. But I do not do fortune telling because I think it's extremely unethical and very disempowering. And it just doesn't make sense to me because I believe in free will. So let's see with the Cancer friends. Okay, Cancer friends. Ooh, interesting. Wow. Powerful card, Major Arcana. The Sun, wow, this is total clarity. Things are perfectly in complete perspective. But this card also has to do with logical, conscious mind. So it has to do with kind of a little bit of the ego mind. But if you're kind of and my content is targeted to empaths. So if you're an empath and you've kind of explored the side of spirituality a little bit, and you've read about the ego, you know what the ego is, and you might even think about oh, I hate my ego, I wish my ego would just go away and I need to get rid of my ego. That's not how it works. So we're humans, we're here on this planet. We have to have an ego because it's actually, believe it or not, it's our survival mechanism. Yes, it's fight or flight, but that's, we're on this planet, and sometimes things happen that are immediate danger where you need your ego to literally navigate yourself out of that situation. So ego is not bad, but this card is talking a little bit about that rational, more masculine side of the mind, where it's conscious logic, clarity, understanding, step-by-step plans, but not plans about like what I'm going to do in the future, but plans about like, okay, here's what I'm doing right now, and here's how I'm going to change that or improve that or increase that action to get to the results that I need. So it's having that very, very, very specific clarity of knowing what you need to do in order to get where you need to go. So this is the message for my Cancer friends, my Cancer empath friends in the month of June. You have the clarity, you have all the elements, you have the understanding and the vision to get yourself where you need to go. You know what you need to do. You have the discipline because it has to do with that reason, that logical, rational mind. You've been analyzing this. You've been tracking this. You've been kind of measuring your own performance. You've been kind of, looking at, okay, here's the plan that I made before, here's how far I got, and here's how much further I gotta go. So my Cancer friends, you guys have it. You guys have the vision, you got the clarity, you got the understanding. Now all you need to do is to use this clarity and take action. So this card is only telling you, you have it. You know what to do. All you need to do is take action. Don't procrastinate. Don't try to get all kind of, over analytical about it. Don't try to get the perfect information, and don't wait to get ready, because you are ready. This card is telling you you're ready right now. You're prepared. You have the information you need. You have the plan that you need. All you need to do is take action. So don't procrastinate. Take action. This is the perfect time to act. So do all the steps you need to do, and you'll get where you want to go. So next, we're going to be moving on to Leos. My Leo friends, my Leo empath friends. But first I'm going to do a few shuffles. I actually like this live format. It feels a little more, I know that there's a lot of creators that don't feel comfortable doing live, and they feel more comfortable recording and like editing a video. I am very new to editing, and I struggle with it. So the live is much more natural to me, and it prevents me from like second guessing myself or like getting too much in my head about it. It just feels more natural for some reason. So I'm really enjoying this environment, and I love seeing that there's a few of you guys who are watching me live. I really appreciate it because I'm a pretty small YouTube creator. So I just love the support and the encouragement and the presence, knowing that there's someone on the other end as I'm doing these readings. So thank you. So moving on with my Leo friends, let's see. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. So the Leo friends, Leo empaths this month are having a little bit of an issue with grounding, because we see a Knight of Pentacles who is not in his upright mode. He is ungrounded, and instead of being calm and steady and kind of taking step-by-step actions that are like are justified by logic and awareness, they're just doing rash decisions. So imagine, here's an example. Leo friends, imagine if you were a stockbroker, right? Or like you had some kind of assets like stocks, right? Because this does have to do with financial matters too. And you've been calm, and you've been really great manager, and you know how to handle your assets, and you know how to invest. And this is just an example. But for example, with the crisis that's happening right now, say the stock market, goes all volatile, and you just lose it all of a sudden. You've been building your portfolio over the years. You've been steady and slow and rational with it, and all of a sudden you go and sell all of your assets and quit everything and just run that's very uncharacteristic of you. But this card is telling you this is not the time to make these rash decisions. Like, this is the time to think through things before you take action. And this is the time to get grounded. And what I mean by get grounded is you got to get out of that panic mode. You got to get out of that, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow mode. You have to get grounded. And whatever you do to get to that point, whether it's going outside on the walk, doing yoga, doing some dancing, stomping around, getting a massage, taking a long bath, whatever you guys do, I know you're into self-care, whatever you guys do to ground, you got to do it now, because you're not grounded and you're not doing the things that you would normally do if you were grounded. And so this card is warning you, this is not a good approach to make these rash decisions based on worry or freaking out or panic or, you know, anger even. Like, you got to get grounded, you got to get steady, you got to get centered, and then you will be able to think rationally. But in that ungrounded state, you're going to make mistakes. So don't do it. Get grounded in June, Leo friends. Please get grounded. And this has to do with money too. So, you know, be very cautious, especially when it has to do with finances, work-related matters, household, you know, property, again, assets, financial assets. That came up for a reason. Maybe for someone who's hearing that, that's going to be relevant. But that's the message for my Leo empath friends. Now I can actually read the comments. Okay. Wow. Okay. Brianna, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, money focus is not necessarily bad. All this card is saying is that you can't make decisions right now for Leos based on like rash situations, like things like, oh my God, the market is falling, or oh wow, they just released this new announcement. And like, you really have to just make sure that you're grounded first, and then think about it, because Leos can get pretty centered. Like, they don't really lose control like all that easily, because they're usually able to just kind of pull themselves back. But this card is saying that right now is a little bit different. Like, they're having a little bit of a struggle with that. So it's not bad that they're focused on money necessarily. It's bad that they might kind of sabotage themselves if they don't take time to get grounded, especially if it's an empath we're talking about. And empaths, we all have a little bit of a struggle with grounding, because we're naturally so connected to everything that it's really hard to kind of center yourself and like ground yourself. So this is a real struggle. So, but I'm shuffling right now. The next sign that we're moving on to is Virgo. So the next card is going to be for my empath Virgo friends. Let's see what comes up. Okay, so let's see what comes up. What's coming up is, wow, interesting, very interesting. Queen of Cups, Virgo friends, interesting. So you Virgos, oops, almost knocked over my ring light, but you Virgos are very, very dedicated. You do things well, or you don't do them at all. So to my Virgo friends, my Virgo empath friends, this card is telling you about this deep, very self-inquisitive process where you're taking your emotions and you're using them to create something meaningful and significant. You're taking your emotional state, your emotional understanding of your life, of relationships. You're maybe even using some of your sadness that has happened before, some of the stories that have happened in your life that have touched you, or maybe even brought you to near destruction, that have been like all these things you've been through, all these things you've lived through, all these things you felt. You're taking all of that and you're creating some kind of a meaningful body of work. Most likely what it's talking about is art. So any kind of form of expression, any form of art, whether it be painting or writing or speaking or sharing, making a channel, recording a podcast, making music, any number of things, dance, singing. There is no limit on what you can call art. And so there is an artistic thing that's happening to you that allows you to express these accumulated experiences and feelings that you've had throughout your life. So this is a very productive process. This is a very good thing. It's going to lead to something major, something precious, something very valuable that's going to be created, that others, you have no idea what it's gonna do to others. So you have no idea how much of an impact it's going to have on other people. So this is really significant, and you don't even realize realize how significant it's going to be to others. It's very significant to you, but it's going to be even more significant to others. So this card is telling you to focus on this process, dedicate yourself completely, be selfish with your time, tell everyone to get lost if you need to, and just focus, go all in, do it, like give it your all. And it's going to be something incredible. And you're like that anyway. If you do anything, you do it 100%. So this is the time, and it's telling you to focus on that creative aspect, that, you know, channeling your emotional understanding and your experience and what you've lived through into something that can be shared with others, something artistic, something that you know, that makes people relate, that makes people go like, wow, I've been through this too, like this is amazing. So don't think about what it's going to do for others, just focus on giving it your all, and then you're going to be blown away by how much of an impact it's going to have on other people's lives. So my Virgo friends, very exciting period of time, very significant. Some of you who might be watching who are in the process of creating life, this card can also apply to that, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. It can be just something that it takes a lot of your energy, your emotion, your feeling, your passion, your care to create. So this is the card for the Virgos. Let me check out the comments. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, Brianna. If you're still here, I hear you. Yeah, I get that. It's you know, everyone's different. Everyone has their different energies, but that was kind of the advice, just to ground. So the next card that I'm going to be doing is Libra, and then Brianna, if you're still here, it looks like you're a Scorpio, based from, like, judging from your name. So I hope you actually get to catch your sun sign card. So, but I'm shuffling the cards to do a reading for Libras. So let's see what comes up for Libras for the month of June. So for the Libras, what I have is Eight of Cups. It's reversed. It's how do I describe this card? It's leaving things behind that. How can I put it? That are still kind of working for you. So it's an interesting point. It's an interesting point of your life where you've realized that there are some emotional kind of hopes and goals and desires that, although these relationships are still working, kind of, or they seem like they're working, they're not satisfying you anymore. And Libras, my empath Libra friends, you're realizing like they're going to hold you back. So these might be friendships or professional relationships or, you know, acquaintances that are just not really good for you. Like, they don't really get you. They don't really get where you're going. They might try, but they don't really, they're not supporting you. They're not contributing to your journey, and they're not going to be able to go with you. And you already understand that. So if this card really kind of applies in that sense, that you're leaving some relationships behind to move on for yourself, then know that this is the right time to do it, and don't beat yourself up, because you're not only doing yourself a favor, you're doing these other people a favor too, because it doesn't serve anyone to stay in friendships or relationships or, you know, or any kind of professional partnerships that are not helping people grow, that are not productive or interesting or supportive to all the people who are involved. So that's the first element of this card. The second element of this card for my Libra friends is that you're traveling into the unknown. Not only are you leaving some support systems behind, but you're actually going into the unknown, the unexplored, somewhere you've never been. You don't even maybe know where you're headed. You might not even feel like you have a direction. You're just kind of being like moved somewhere, and you're not really sure where that is. So in this case, the best advice that I can give you is you have to trust your intuition. This card is all about the intuition. It's about this moon. And when it comes up upright, you can really clearly see that. But reversed, it's telling you maybe there's a little kind of aspect of you that doesn't trust this process. Like, you're following it, you're following the intuition, you're doing it, you're going all the way. But part of you goes like, but what if I fail? What if everything just crashes and burns around me? And what am I going to lose? Well, you're not going to lose anything, because you can't stay the way that you were before. It's over. You're already out of that. So you can't go back. You can't hold yourself back. You have to keep moving forward. And so the advice of this card primarily is to just trust your intuition and keep going forward. Leave whatever you need to leave behind. And yes, accept that where you're going is unknown, because guess what? You're actually creating it. That's why you don't know where you're going, because you're creating this new path for yourself. So you just trust your intuition, trust your guides, trust your soul, your higher self, because it knows where you're going and it knows why. And so connect to that higher aspect of you and trust it, and request that guidance. Ask for it. Ask for clarification if you need it, but just know that you're doing the right thing. So this was the message for my Libra friends. I'm going to be shuffling for, let's see who's next, for Scorpio, actually. So the next card is going to be Scorpio. So I'm going to shuffle for a while, check the comments here. No problem, internet acting up. Yeah, I think mine might be too sometimes, because it just kind of gets a little glitchy. But no, you didn't miss anything. Scorpio is the next card. So here we go. Okay, a few more shuffles, and then we should be ready. Okay, so for Scorpio, very interesting card. Oops, knocking things off. But here's the card, Scorpios. Your card this month, for the month of June, is Three of Cups. So to my empath Scorpio friends, your message is, you're overextending yourself in an emotional way. So you might actually be having a pretty good time, pretty productive time too, but you might be connecting to a lot of people, and maybe even people you don't usually connect to. And I'm not talking about like in person. This might be happening, through family calling in, through different kind of conference calls, through distant friends that live, across the globe, all of a sudden reaching out. And because you've been so focused on doing your work and kind of productive, you've also been kind of like feeling like you really need to engage with people more, because you're kind of questioning, you're questioning yourself, like, am I doing enough? Am I helping this person enough? Am I giving this person enough of my attention? Am I feeling enough of, like, so you're kind of you're pushing yourself to be too many things for too many people, and it's starting to get really toxic, to the point where there are people calling you and messaging you and like reaching out to you with their emotional baggage and getting you like way too involved in the drama. I have a lot of Scorpio relationships in my life and a lot of Scorpio connections. And I know that you guys can be pretty, you have a really good understanding of like setting boundaries and stuff. But sometimes when you get emotionally involved with people and their dramas, you kind of get sucked into the gossip. And the next thing you know, you're like participating in it. And you're like saying, yeah, she did that. And then she also did that. And then you're like, that's not even me. Like, why did I do this? And the answer is because there's too much going on. You got to cut some of these people off. You got to tell them very nicely. It's not like you don't care, but you got to tell them, hey, listen, I can't do this right now. I can't have another discussion about your, friend's drama or boyfriend drama or girlfriend drama. This is going to have to wait. Because I got some things going on right now. And even if the only thing you got going on right now is the fact that you're overextended and you're exhausted and you're feeling like every time this type of conversation happens over Zoom or FaceTime or whatever else, you just get depleted, and then you don't have energy to do anything else, and let alone do things that you want to focus on. So even if the only reason you want to limit this is you, that's a legitimate reason. You got to tell these people to respect your time, first of all, and then second, tell them, okay, I'll talk to you about this. Let's schedule a time this week that works for both of us. And I tell you, this is going to cut some of these people out, because they're going to be like, oh, I'm not scheduling this. Why don't you pick up the phone right now? You're going to tell them, because I can't. and you better respect my time, because I can't handle this right now. And if they get upset, whose problem is that? Theirs. But it's drama. There is really nothing going on with them. They're just used to your energy. You just because you get so involved and you care and you feel and you want to help. So it's getting out of hand. You got to limit that. You got to tell these people, like, listen, I can't deal with this right now. I'm sorry if you're gonna get upset about this, but you're gonna be okay. You're gonna get over it. You're gonna survive. I can't do this anymore for now. So let's see. The next card I'm going to be shuffling for is Sagittarius, but for now I'm just going to read the comments. Yeah, see, exactly. Yeah. And so, Brianna, this I agree. And again, like I said, I have a lot of Scorpio friends, and I know you guys are really good with setting these boundaries, and saying, like, listen, I got to focus on my work right now and my art or whatever it is. But for some of our empath Scorpio friends this month, apparently that's the problem. Apparently people are still trying to get to them, like with the drama and the distractions and all that stuff, and like trying to kind of get into the energy, because Scorpios are super empathic. They're super intuitive. They feel so, like, and they're very, like, they connect to feelings very well. So people get addicted to that, because who doesn't want to be understood on that level? But it's just getting a little out of hand. There's no respect for your time or energy, and there is really no legitimate need. It's just drama. So cut it out. Okay, so let's see. Next is Sagittarius. Let's see what's up with our Sagittarius friends. So, pulling a card for Sagittarius. Ooh, very curious. So we have a Wheel of Fortune, which is a major arcana card. So it's upright, so it's not upside down. It's talking about a very opportune time. It's talking about the fortune being in your favor. It's talking about things finally looking up for you, and it's not necessarily something that you did. And it's okay. It's okay to actually accept that. It's not about something you did. It's about this is the cycle of your life. And right now you're entering a cycle where, the lesson is you think of something, you take action, if it's aligned with your purpose and who you are, it manifests. There are no obstacles. Things are looking up. And it's okay if you feel like, well, I've been doing the same thing. I'm not really doing anything different now. So why is this happening? Because you kind of want to have that control, want to, like, predict, but there is no predicting with the Wheel of Fortune. It's lessons that are way higher than you. In fact, the Wheel of Fortune is the reason we come here to this planet as human beings, is so we can go through these life cycles, because they teach us something. But when you go and you're studying a new subject and you go to the first lesson and you haven't even seen the book yet, do you know more than the professor about that subject? Probably not. Can you see the whole picture? Probably not. The only thing you can see is the lesson that is being taught to you right when you walk into the class. So this is the same way with the Wheel of Fortune. Yes, it turns in your favor sometimes. Yes, it turns against you sometimes, but it's all part of the bigger lessons of life, the cycle of life. So you're in the cycle where things are working right now. You're entering it. And June is that great time where things are just working out. And it's okay. You don't have to find a reason or what you did right or what you did wrong before. Just go with it and see if you can see the bigger picture. See if you can see, like, some kind of a cycle coming to an end, some kind of a journey completing, some kind of a lesson being learned. Because sometimes these Wheel of Fortune periods, they teach us lessons, bigger lessons of life. And if we fail to see the lesson, we kind of repeat the cycle. Sometimes we see the lesson, but we refuse to learn it and to, like, accept it. So we repeat the cycle, and that's okay to repeat the cycle. But this card is telling you, pay attention. Things are coming around. Things are looking up. Things are going to be, like, a lot better than they were up to this point. But see what is completing, what cycle is coming to an end, and what have you learned from it, and what are some of the things that are going to be different for you now. So that's your task for June, dear Sagittarius empath friends. So next sign that we have is, of course, Capricorn. So I'm going to be doing some shuffling for Capricorn and see what comes up for our empath Capricorn friends. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, very interesting. So Capricorns are challenged to step into a position of authority, and not because they're the best. I do love my Capricorn friends, but because you're doing it for something that is bigger than you. Something to do with justice, something to do with service, something to do with defending those who can't speak for themselves, something to do with protecting people and serving, doing the right thing, making sure that, you know, the right thing gets done, and that there's someone who is committed to that justice vision, to that understanding of what the right thing is and why, and understanding all the sides of the people who are involved. So you're being placed in this position by seemingly like circumstances. Some of it is your own leadership. Some of it you've been honestly kind of preparing for and going for. But the reason you're doing that is because there is really something bigger than you that is pushing you forward, that is telling you you're the only one who really can do this right. And maybe there is some kind of a motivator, such as it's some kind of an injustice or an opposing party that's trying to confuse things, or maybe some kind of interference that is meddling with, you know, the justice. So you're being called to be that enforcer of justice, and it's a position of very high authority. So whether it be in a specific situation, whether it be as a permanent like job position, whether it be you know, in a specific group of friends or colleagues or acquaintances, it doesn't really matter, or in something you volunteer for, it doesn't matter. You're being placed in that leadership spot, not just by circumstances, not just by preparation and leadership, but by the vision that you're committed to, by that higher meaning that is pushing you forward. So if there's any doubt and you're like questioning, like, well, can I really do this? Are people going to get upset that I'm their boss now? You know, am I going to be just, or am I going to get carried away? Is it going to get to my head being like in this position of authority? You just have to remember why. You only have to remember your why, and your why is noble. Your why is right. You're doing this because of something that's bigger than you, and something that's telling you you're the only one who can really, really do this well. So just follow that. And every time you kind of get into your head a little bit about it, or you feel doubtful or maybe unworthy, just think about that purpose and really connect to it, and just really focus your intention, like, I'm going to do the best that I can to actually serve this higher, bigger vision. And you're going to immediately feel relieved, because there is a reason you're being called to do this. And it's higher than you. It can even be spiritual to an extent, or community driven, or justice driven. So just follow it, do it, take that responsibility and do it well, and just trust yourself and trust that higher calling that's pushing you towards it. So that's the message for my Sagittarius friends for the month of, my Capricorn friends for the month of June. Now, the next sign that I'm going to be reading is going to be Aquarius. So I'm going to do a few shuffles for my Aquarius friends. I'm really enjoying this reading so far. Really liking the live format. It's honestly making it a lot easier for me to like just really focus on reading the card instead of thinking how I'm going to like upload it all. So yeah, if anyone watches this reading and thinks I should do extended readings for every single sign separately, let me know in the comments. But the next card is the message for Aquarius. Aquarius friends, this is the card that's telling you you can do whatever you want. And maybe I should be a little more specific. You can create whatever you think of. And this card is the gift of this earth, you know, this world that we live in, that, yes, of course, it can be rough and you know, a little overwhelming. And there's a lot of like not good people out there, I guess, and events can get a little crazy, but this world is a gift, and you are a gifted creator because you have the ability to get a vision for something and then apply effort and take action and make that vision reality. You have the gift to create something out of nothing. And what I mean by that is to just get an idea for something, and then all of a sudden you're taking that idea, you're putting together elements, combining it with action, and you're creating something, and then it becomes real. That's pure magic, by the way. And so, my Aquarius friends, this card is telling you you really kind of need to step away from your day-to-day busy buddy type activities and your routines of doing things over and over again, and just like repeating activities and things like that, and you need to look at what you're capable of, Aquarius friends. I know that you guys get you get really committed to whatever you're doing long term. I know a lot of Aquariuses, y'all are very, very committed to like whatever you pick, and then you just like do it forever, which is not a bad thing, which is why everyone values you, because you become a true expert and a really great leader in whatever you choose. But this card is telling you can do a lot more. For some reason, this June, you're supposed to look at the bigger picture, and you're supposed to really look at, what can I do? Like, what can I create? What are some of the ideas that I've had throughout the past few years, and I wrote them down and forgot about them? What could I do with these ideas? Could I make them reality? Could I maybe make a bigger vision reality? What are some of the visions that you've made reality over the past few years? And then think about, but oh my God, but what can I really do? Like, if I went bigger than that, what could I create? And you already had the ideas for these things. This card is just telling you to look at your capabilities in this bigger way of like, wow, I'm not just this role. I'm not just this job. I'm not just this task. I'm not just this product or this service. I'm an infinite creator. I can create anything as long as I can think of it. So look at some of these creative ideas that you've been kind of putting off or maybe even forgetting, and see, like, think about what can you create, and because it's a lot bigger than what you're doing right now. So this card is telling you, challenge yourself to see the bigger picture and get the bigger vision for what you're going to create next. And that's really exciting, but it can also be a little intimidating. But you guys can do it. You guys are so talented. So my empath Aquarius friends, look at the bigger picture. Look at your talents and gifts that you've been neglecting. Look at the ideas that you've been writing down and not thinking about because you're too intimidated by them, because you're thinking you're not good enough. Drop that. You've been given this gift to make reality out of nothing, to just come up with an idea and make it true. So think about it. Like, you could be, and this has to do with money too. There could be a lot more gain, a lot more potential possibility, opportunity that you're just not considering because you're thinking too small. You got to think bigger. Think bigger. So that's your message for June. Now I have a final card to go over, which is going to be, of course, our Pisces friends, which is going to be the last card of this reading. So I'm going to be pulling a card for Pisces after a few more shuffles, and we're going to see what comes up for Pisces friends. Very excited, you guys. So let's see. For our Pisces friends, we have, ooh, well, that's unexpected. Okay, so for the Pisces, we've got a 9 of Swords. It's a tough card. So you guys are having a hard time sleeping at night because you're overwhelmed. You're struggling with feeling like you're trapped, feeling like you don't know what's going to happen next, feeling like this dread, like all these things are happening and I can't stop them, I can't help them, I can't change them, feeling very panicked and out of control, and feeling like it's almost like you're taking on pain of everyone around you, like everyone's problems, everyone's worries. You're yourself worried, but you feel so bad for these other people in your life that you're, on top of being worried yourself, you're putting more of that pressure, more of their emotions onto you. And like I said, these readings are for empaths, and I truly trust that whoever will find this reading is going to be an empath. So as an empath, my dear Pisces friends, you're taking on too many things. You're taking on everyone's pain and everyone's fear and everyone's anxiety and frustration and anger, and you're just losing it. You feel like you're alone, you feel like you're powerless, you feel like you're stuck, and you feel like, the time is running out. So it's the sense of really deep angst. And all I can say with this card is, the only thing that you have to accept, that you have to allow and embrace, that will help you find some relief, is knowing that this is all happening for a reason, and there's a bigger meaning to this, and you don't know what it is yet. You can't know, but it's there. It's there because, as you can see, if we reverse this card, if we put it on this upside down, we see this chessboard on the ceiling. Invisible chessboard. Of course, this poor stressed out lady does not see the ceiling being a chessboard. She only sees the window, locked with all the swords, and the lonely moon out there, and she's alone in the castle, and it looks like she can't get out. So it's an illusion. This is a rough time for a lot of people, but you can't overwhelm yourself. First of all, you have to stop taking on other people's anxiety and paranoia and fears and frustration and struggle. Yes, it's legitimate. Are people struggling? Yes. Are your friends struggling? Yes. Are your close ones struggling? Yes. But if you can't actually do anything about it, you can't put it onto yourself, because it's going to drive you insane. And second, when it comes to your own worry and stress and your own inability to deal with what's going on because it's so overwhelming, you have to remember that this is happening for a reason. There is this chessboard on the ceiling that you can't see. This is part of a process. There is something to it that you can't see right now, you can't understand, but it's nonetheless there. And it's going to become visible. Hindsight 2020, you're going to find it out. You're going to see the purpose, the deeper meaning eventually. But right now, you can't put that pressure of figuring it out onto yourself. All you have to do is you have to allow yourself not to take on what others are going through, their struggles, because you have to take care of yourself. And unless you set that boundary and kind of stop taking in everyone's emotions, like I said, it's going to be a rough ride for you. It already is. So you have to set the boundary, and then you have to surrender and allow and believe that there is a higher reason for this, that eventually it's going to be revealed to you, most likely when this period is already behind you. But right now you can't do anything. So you have to stop worrying, and you have to stop, beating yourself up for not being able to do anything about it, because you can't. All you can do is take care of yourself. And the first advice of that self-care is to set these boundaries. I have a video on my channel. I don't really know how to link it to the live. I'll try to do it afterwards, and so it appears somewhere above my head. But I have a video about setting boundaries for empaths, how secrets of how to set boundaries for empaths. That has taken me years to figure out, because I had zero boundaries, and I was like this all the time. So hope this helps. This concludes today's reading. Thank you, Brianna, for staying with me this whole entire live stream and listening to all the signs. I'm so grateful. You're awesome. Thank you so much. I feel so good about it. And thank you for everyone who's going to be joining, watching this after the live stream on replay. Like I said, I'll have the timestamps in the pinned comment, so you can find your sign easily and go straight to the reading. And let me know if you have any questions. If you want for me to do extended readings for all the signs, then let me know in the comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And if you have any friends that are first of all empaths, or highly sensitive people, or psychic, or just have special abilities that are sensitive to energy, understand energy, just, like feel deeply into this world, then you might want to send this reading to them, because they might find it useful for their sign, and they might learn something, or receive some wisdom that might help them get through this period of time. So thank you everyone for joining. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will be seeing you shortly in the next videos. And until then, love you so very much. Hope you can feel my love. Bye.